Hello, welcome to this week's paint along. So it's gonna be a little bit more of an experimentation tonight. So we figure out, so I got these colors mixed up for our stormy cloud look. I think these are gonna work pretty well together. Tell you real quick what they are. So right here, it's the dark one, has about 3 drops, I think it's 3 drops of blue liner to 2 Sharkbite. Which Sharkbite is now available individually. Used to be in a fast palette, now it's individual. And then this here is mostly Sharkbite with a little bit of like a brushful of that mixed in. And then here we've got about 50-50 of these two, Sharkbite and Clear Magenta. And then this one is a drop of blue liner in with Clear Magenta. So it's those colors. I think those will work really well. Brings in a color that I used up here in the skin. So I'm reusing a color. It's always great to do to keep your color composition going well. I sort of tested out a little bit here because you can kind of see. I did basically some wet blending here just to see how that would go. So I think I'm going to continue that over wet blending of the two dark colors, so the dark blue and that dark magenta. So again, just kind of playing around with and very much wet blending. That was a bit too much. Blue. Put it out here. Kind of looks cool anyway, even though it was a mistake. Yay for happy mistakes. This is that dark magenta. It's got a little bit of the blue liner in, so it's a bit more purple than what's up here. But it's kind of acting like a nice transition bit into the stormy clouds look. All over right here where it kind of transitions from where I did the really dark red violet to here where it's just like a really light layer of the magenta. I think it was just clear magenta. I'm just kind of going over it with that dark magenta a little bit into the shadow areas here. Putting on kind of a heavy coat just so that it stays somewhat wet actually. Right, I'm going to come back and start down a little further with the blue. And if it dried up a little bit, that's okay. We can always come back and do some better blending. Kind of let some of that dark magenta stay in the shadows. That way we still have a little bit of that. Try and make it so you can see it here. It's kind of, this part is a little bit of an awkward spot to get to on camera. If you've got any places where there's lines, whether it's you're getting some lines from that dark magenta up here, or from the dark magenta to the blue, you could always take one of those colors and make a glaze out of them once, and then put it on after this is dry. So like up here, I don't see any super obvious lines, especially because magenta's itself very transparent. I'm using clear magenta, so it is just magenta pigment. So I don't see any, but if I did, I would just take the dark magenta color that I was using, put a drop brush full into a well palette, into one of my other wells, and then add like a brush full of water, and that would probably make a really good light glaze just to help blend those areas if there were any visible lines between the colors. Not seeing any. I mean, obviously down here where I didn't go all the way with the blue, there's definitely a line there, but that's because I'll be filling that in a bit more fully than I was up here. I was focusing on just getting up here, the overlap up here, about right. I think this needs a little bit more touching up here. This is also the other way you could, especially when it's here where it's transitioning from that dark magenta to the dark blue, you can also just do more wet blending. Okay, I think down here still needs some more work too. I am going to kind of use this as a liner of sorts. I want some of that purplish color carried down here. Because again, we're going for, well, I'm going for kind of the stormy cloud look. For this bit, for this video, I'll probably just get the rest of this kind of blocked in as far as where I want the dark magenta to go. I'll do a tiny bit of the highlighting of with those other two colors just to get a feel for what I'm going to do with those. We're not going to be able to finish all of this in one go. But I think we at least have a really good idea how to move forward here. Alright, so the light magenta that I had mixed, we'll bring that back up here and bring this back up here. Right now, let's see what we want to do with the blue here. It's going to show up a lot more than that magenta, so I think I definitely going to need some blending. need to thin this one down a bit. Well, that's not too bad. You get the kind of a gradient thing going on here. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to be, I would say we're going to be doing a lot of web blending on this just to make that gradient really work well and to keep from getting lines. So, but I think we're going to stick with those colors, and I think I'll probably plan on bringing more of this Sharkbite blue out towards the end, and we'll just end up with kind of a gradient. But still keep some of that magenta kind of in the shadow here, just so that we always have a little bit of that. So yeah, I think we've got a good start. Going on that. So come back next week and we'll continue that and probably be able to get it finished up since I know what I want to do now or how to do it. Hope you have a good rest of your week. All right, see you then. Bye.